Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and it is time for your SmackDown review. Now, been a little bit sick, so kind of a delay in doing this review. Also, what a very uneventful episode of SmackDown as well. The ending of this show made me just completely dislike this show. I like certain aspects of SmackDown better than Raw, but to say that it's worlds better, I see people out there saying it's so much better than Raw. That's bullshit right there. This show sucks as well. It's still not good. You could still see that a lot of the same writers are still working on SmackDown. But at least unlike Raw, there's a couple of things to like. With Raw, I completely despised the whole thing. And for anybody who thought otherwise, during my Raw review, I'm still watching the YouTube videos. I'm still going by what I see in the YouTube clips. That's enough right there. I get a feel for the show. I don't have to sit there for 3 hours experiencing that amazingly high level of garbage. And I could still review it. I could still talk about it. I could still see, these matches and these storylines and still discuss them. So I'm going to go out of my way anymore, like I said, to watch 3 hours, 2.5 hours without the commercials, whatever it is. So we started off with Daniel Bryan standing there with Shane. Daniel Bryan, was talking to Shane. He disagrees with Shane, and you would think maybe Daniel Bryan would challenge the Miz in the ring. Not to a match, but at least they could have a little bit of back and forth. There could be a little bit of excitement. The authority figure getting in the face of the Miz, or the Miz getting in the face of the authority figure again. Now, on the talking smack thing, the Miz gave this promo that was amazing, and he was doing a good job here in the ring. But then Ziggler came out, and unlike a lot of haters out there, I like Ziggler. I want to see something happen with Ziggler that's truly monumental. The guy deserves it. He does have charisma. He does have a look. He does have a presence about him. Not at a major level. Like, once again, I'm not talking about a Rock or a Stone Cold or even Randy Orton, for example. But I like Ziggler and I want to see him do well, but that's not going to happen. He's back again with The Miz, back in a feud with The Miz again. No Daniel Bryan. Bryan standing backstage talking to Shane about the situation, talking about it, but not doing anything about it. So, I don't really see how this is a storyline when the story is not being told. It's a storyline with a lot of holes here that, it's got to be done on purpose. You've got Daniel Bryan standing backstage. All you got to do is bring him out to the ring, but they don't want to do that. Instead, it's just Ziggler and Miz with a back and forth. And what a horrible way to follow up such a great promo. They're completely clueless, and I don't know if it's just the writers or it's McMahon. It's a combination of both. I don't know. But how do you decide that this is a good way to follow up a promo that everybody was talking about? A promo that wasn't even part of the main show. It was on the post-game wrap-up show. Talking smack. And people still watch this, and they were getting excited about the Miz cutting this promo. It was like a work shoot. Many people, and this is the thing, even in the internet age, there was still a lot of people asking, is this a shoot? Or did Miz really get pissed off about Daniel Bryan saying he was working a soft, safe style? So it was very interesting. Even in these work shoot promos, never heard anybody actually talking about the in-ring style. Never heard anybody actually say that they're a safe worker. Especially around the time that right now that Seth Rollins is being accused of injuring Finn Balor for being called an unsafe worker. That's, definitely a very timely, contemporary thing to be talking about. And they just followed up with Ziggler and Miz just setting up for a IC title match. If that is not the lamest fucking follow up I've ever seen, I don't know what is. That is that is just inexcusable, and it has to be McMahon wanting to play it safe again. Every single time they hit on a speck of genius, they always have to follow it up with some form of dumbassery, and that's why they'll never move forward or they'll never increase their ratings. They're afraid to take a chance. They're afraid to change and do something a little bit different to get back to their traditional ways of doing business, of entertaining the exciting people with the unexpected. And not the unexpected with, Kalisto winning a U.S. title or Kevin Owens winning a Universal title. The Hype Bros defeated the Vaudevillains. Why did they bring the Vaudevillains up from NXT if they're just basically going to be enhancement talent? I don't get this. They've got a great character. A large portion of the fans were kind of getting, behind them or at least interested. And then they just completely kill them off with the Hype Bros. I'm not a really big fan of this tag team. I like Ryder, but by himself. But the Hype Bros, it's just a tad bit fucking goofy for my taste. So they advance in the tag title tournament so they could win those stupid looking belts. AJ defeated Apollo Crews. You had a little backstage segment with these guys. Crews is spelling out his name. Is this a fucking spelling bee or is this wrestling? I don't get that. That's his catchphrase, spelling out his name. What the fuck? AJ beats Crews and, a pretty uneventful match. You watch this match and you're like, two athletic guys, but who cares, really? What does this do for AJ? This is the thing. They had AJ beat Cena clean at the pay-per-view. They want to invest in this guy. But you're going to see later on how that they don't want to invest in this guy. Even though they're acting like they do want to invest in him, you'll see clearly how he is not being portrayed as the next John Cena, quite clearly. Then we got something really good. We see Heath Slater in his trailer with his wife Beulah. No, not Beulah McGillicuddy from ECW, but some his wife, another girl. Rhino and Renee Young is interviewing them, and this was actually really entertaining, funny stuff. She serves hors d'oeuvres. The wife, she brings it over. Renee Young is looking all disgusted. The facial expressions, the camera work, panning from person to person. This was like a real, old school type of comedy skit. Maybe not Attitude Era, but definitely something more ruthless aggression-ish. You would see these kind of funny skits. They weren't at the arena. They went to Heath Slater's trailer for once they got out of this cookie cutter land where only things could happen, inside the arena. Finally, getting away from it. Getting back to that soap opera style here, at least for one segment. Rhino stood quiet, but he didn't say a word the whole thing, but the guy was fucking hilarious. The facial expressions, shrugging his shoulders, eating the hors d'oeuvres, which was just crackers with cheese whiz. And I thought it was really entertaining. Renee was trying to get to the bottom of, what if they win the tag titles? Why are they a team? And Rhino's just shrugging his shoulders. He doesn't even know why he's there. I'd like to see more of this. If this is the way they're going to go with the Heath Slater character, I'm all for this, okay? I think the guy's got a lot of charisma. They are making him into a goofball. But I see they're trying to go for the Jamie Noble approach here, which is not bad. I kind of like the Jamie Noble character, but they're adding like a little bit more depth than they are with Noble. And I think it's entertaining for what it is. I thought it was a pretty funny skit. Up next, we got back to the shittiness. Now, there ain't nothing wrong with Bray Wyatt coming out to cut a promo. He's been cutting the same promo for years now. It's kind of tiresome already. So Orton comes out. He said that there's a scary side to him. The same thing. I'm not scared of you, Wyatt. Wyatt says that he likes Randy's more aggressive, scary side. And then, like, Orton says he's going to come into the ring and, like, kick his ass, but he dives in the ring, and then they do the thing, and, like, that's it. Well, I don't think they make that noise anymore, but, they just, like, kind of cut to black, and that's it. Like, they didn't even, like, go back to show that Wyatt's not there with Orton looking all confused. Like, that would have been fine. You could say, oh, that's mind games, but they just cut to black and didn't show a goddamn thing that had happened during the commercials. I don't know. They couldn't at least spare another 20 seconds just to show Orton standing alone looking bewildered. Like that right there, that's just fucking lazy. That's just showing that they don't care about telling a story. They don't even care about finishing the segment they started. Where is Wyatt? Where was he? I couldn't find him. He's on TV 1 minute, he's gone, but they don't even show that he's gone. The lights go out, and that's it. That's it. And then it's commercial. We come back on, not a word mentioned of it. You would think when something like that happened that's, unexplainable, you would think maybe the announcers are allowed to talk about it. And trust me, I know that Mauro Ranallo would talk about it if he was allowed to, because that shit right there is just, that's not something that a person could possibly not acknowledge after seeing. You had Natalya and Alexa Bliss defeating Naomi and Becky Lynch. Carmelo was on the outside with the distraction. And I forget if it was Becky Lynch or Nikki in this match. I don't know. Nikki got there somehow. I even fucking forgot. I was pretty bored, but I think Nikki was on commentary or some shit. That's what I think happened. I don't know, my brain shut down during this match. So something happened. It ended with, Carmelo on top of the barricade. I was half paying attention. I'm sorry, but this was, at this point, after the Wyatt thing, I was like, what? Anyway, Rhino and Heath Slater defeated the Headbangers. It was good to see the Headbangers again. This isn't like a top-tier tag team for anybody wondering. Sort of like, they were tag champs one time. They had a match with the New Age Outlaws, sometime in 1998. But, these guys, I don't even think they were ever at a WrestleMania. They were at a WrestleMania. They were in the Battle Royal at WrestleMania 2000, the Hardcore Battle Royal. But that's about it. And people might remember Headbanger Mosh. That guy, he's the one that was Beaver Cleavage. And he was also Chaz and Lowdown with D'Lo Brown. In case anybody gives a fuck. So Slater and Rhyno beat them. It was nice to see the Headbangers. I like to see them stick around. But maybe not, because look what they did to the fucking Dudleys. Can you guys believe that the Dudleys are actually gone from WWE, and the way how they handled it on Raw, that's how they left the company? What a piece of shit right there. They had them go out against Primo and Epico, of all teams. That right there, that's a load of fucking garbage. So yeah, the Headbangers, maybe they're better off not even being there. And also they were like a returning team and they just lost. I'm all for promoting the team of Slater and Rhyno, which is proven to be entertaining outside of the ring. And decent in the ring too. But the Headbangers, they come back. You maybe want them to win for nostalgic purposes, but I don't know how to feel about this. Everything is so fucking weird in WWE now. It's not. It's things that you would expect. There's some. Oh, how about the unpredictability, Brad? Well, there is an old saying that sometimes predictability could be a good thing in wrestling. Like, when you want somebody to win when they deserve to win and you kind of know that they're supposed to win and they do, you still get a sense of satisfaction out of it. But, when the Headbangers, this, team that's got a bit of history in them, comes in and just loses, it's kind of like, well, okay, they brought them in just to lose. I mean, I kind of just find it a little bit funny that they fly a tag team in just to have them lose. Now, I guess maybe it wouldn't have the same effect if they beat a team like the Vaudevillains or the Hype Bros. This team's got a bit more, they've been together way longer than those teams, but even still. Then this segment right here, guys. This is exactly why I cannot say it's different. It's definitely different than Raw, but sometimes it's just as bad, even though it's not even really the same. If that makes sense, there's a different style going on here. There's definitely more of a old school feel in a weird way to SmackDown. This guy called the Milkman is in the ring. He's challenging anybody in the back. He strips down to his tighty whities. Yes, I did say that. He stripped down to his fucking underwear. Not wrestling tights. Actual underwear. Challenging somebody. I couldn't even believe that I was watching this. I was like, okay, we had seen this, but it's something called context. When Big Dick Johnson used to come out and dance, I used to laugh my ass off because it was unexpected. This guy is just there, completely, well, a little animated, but pretty much serious, just in the ring in his underwear. Kane comes out, kicks his ass, and that's it. And I'm like, what the fuck did that accomplish? Are they reestablishing Kane to do what? Who's this Milkman guy? Why is he called Milkman? I'm a little bit uncomfortable about him calling himself the Milkman standing there in his fucking underwear. But why? What is the point of having a segment like this? What could be gained from the Milkman? What could be gained from a man standing there in his underwear getting beaten by Kane? I don't get it. I kind of don't even remember if Kane pinned him. Was it a match? What was it? Why was this booked? Well, seriously, give me a reason here. Why this had to be there? What was this meant to entertain? Was it supposed to be there to get a laugh? I don't know. Was there a purpose or reason? There had to be something behind this. I mean, or did they just write it down like, okay, we need to fill a little bit of time here? Yeah. Then you had Baron Corbin and Dean Ambrose. AJ and Ambrose get into it a little bit when AJ starts telling Corbin to beat down on Ambrose more. He accidentally hits Corbin. It's a disqualification. AJ goes for the phenomenal forearm, but Ambrose crotches him. And what follows is a very awkward moment here. And there were way too many of these because we just got done looking at a guy called the Milkman in his underwear. And the thing with Wyatt. And now we've got AJ just, like, with a goofy fucking expression on his face being crotch on the rope. Like, what was he doing? Can I ask that? Like, once again, I don't even know what I'm watching. Okay, we've seen wrestlers being, crotched on the top rope before. We've seen this. But it's like AJ was just sitting there. Ambrose is like putting his hand on his shoulder all comically and stuff. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So he's just gonna stay there. Like, okay, I know that hurts. If I know the arguments that people will make, oh, if that happened to you, Brett, you'd do the same thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you got crunched on the top rope, but does this happen to even lesser guys? This is AJ Styles. He pinned John Cena. That's a big win right there. He pinned, as he says, the face that runs the place, right? So why is he here with a goofy expression on his face? And even that he got himself in this position, it's like, okay, so the face is one-upping the cocky heel. I get it, though. That was a bad pun. Unintentional, by the way. But anyway, yeah, I can't even get past that pun. But here's the thing. It's like, if they want people to take AJ seriously, is this guy, this tough wrestler that beat Cena, even though he's way shorter than him and, not as, physically impressive. But I love AJ. Like I said, the guy's finally got good on the mic. I love him in the ring. But showing him in this, like, prone position, all goofy like this, and Ambrose is shaking the rope and everything to hurt him more. It's kind of like this is your new face of the company. Like, okay, he's not the actual new face of the company, but they're trying to portray him as that for the time being, I guess, until Cena comes back. But it's like, is this what always has to happen? It's the same thing like with Kevin Owens. If someone beats Cena and Del Rio, they, okay, we let you beat Cena, but now we have to make you look really bad. So in order not, and like I said, for all the people that say that I don't talk bad about Cena anymore, well, here you go. I do notice these little observations. Whenever somebody beats them, they always book them to look like a goof later on, as if to show that, well, they beat Cena, but they're still not as good as him because Cena wouldn't be in this type of position. But look at AJ over there, all goofy in a prone position. And, you wouldn't see Cena like that in a million years. And so this is why no one's going to take him seriously. No one is going to see AJ as the potential face that runs the place because they're not showing him like that. If a guy like Ambrose is one-upping him and doing this whole comedy bit, this is supposed to be a world title feud where AJ's supposed to be a serious threat. Shouldn't AJ be like standing over this guy, beating the shit out of him? Instead, we're doing all this goofy shit with Corbin. Oh, at ringside. I mean, come on. Why is Corbin looking tougher than AJ? If AJ's the one challenging for the title, so maybe Corbin should be challenging for the title because he looks tougher than AJ in this situation. Meanwhile, Corbin is standing tall while AJ is getting crotched on the top rope with a fucking goofy ass expression on his face. So this is why, guys, this is why I can't get behind SmackDown. I've been trying to watch it, for quite a few weeks now. Not that I'm, going to completely stop watching it, but let's be honest here. This is not much better than Raw. It's like a hair better than Raw. The best thing on this show was the Slater package, and that's not to knock Slater. A very well done segment. But aside from that, there was nothing else really to enjoy about this show. Especially the last segment, especially the Wyatt thing, which looked like it was just some poorly edited segment, but this is a live show now. So they can't even use that excuse. Sudden got cut out by accident. Yeah, they just cut it off. They cut the feed so no one even knew what happened. And I mean, I guess we're supposed to know what happened, but you still got to show it. You can't just that's like, okay, the match is about to end, and then the show just ends. Say there's a pay-per-view, and it's Cena versus AJ when Cena comes back, and Cena is gonna beat AJ. It's 1-2, and then that's it. The show just ends, and they show their copyright thing at the end. Okay, well, you knew he was gonna win, but you still want to see the 3, right? Because you just want to see the rest of the show. Well, that's the same exact thing. You can't just assume that everybody is going to know what's going to happen. We know, but the other people who have never seen the show before are not going to know. Anyway, the show was garbage. Let's be perfectly honest. A few things here and there that were okay. A Slater match. The fact that Heath, Slater, and Rhyno are being the show stealers, that tells me something right there. And that's not to knock those talented guys, but it is, when your main eventers should be stealing the show, because that's why they're the top guys. If anything, AJ looked goofier than Slater. Slater at least was a winner at the end of his match. Uh, yes, AJ won his match against Apollo Crews, but in the last segment in the main event, he looked like the loser. Oh, guys, there's your SmackDown review. I sound all nasally and congested, but there you go, motherfuckers.